Yes,
We
sir.
start. Yeah. Thank you. So let's start the class for today. And today we are going to discuss, in continuation to the last class, we will be discussing the five principles of lean startup management. Okay. So in the last class, we discussed about the five principles of lean. Okay, so before we start this five principles of lean startup management, what Eric Rice, the author of the book Lean Startup Management, like Lean Startup, so what he is telling is, don't be in a rush to a big, right, to get big. So to achieve something big, don't rush yourself. Be in a rush to have a great product. So you should be fast. You should be you should move fast, not have something big, but to have a big product with you, a great product with you. So that is what Eric Rice is saying. So you should be fast. It's not that you should be very slow in the market. You're going to be very fast, but it should be in the terms of a good quality product instead of getting something big. Okay, so with that note, I start you now, and I will introduce you the five principles of lean startup management. Okay, so in the last class we saw about the principles of lean, and the five principles of lean. What we saw is value, value stream, flow, pull, and perfection. Okay, so we saw that the people will be willing to pay for your product only when they find the value in the product. Only they are ready to pay for the value what is added to the product. Then we saw in a value stream, like the steps, we should be very clear with the steps, right? The flow of the product in inside the manufacturing unit, or anywhere, it should be the flow should be correct. So the value stream should be correct. Then we saw that there should not be any bottlenecks, and we should make the flow smooth as much as possible. So we saw about flow, the third principle of lean. Then we told that in lean manufacturing, the customers should buy the product. It should not, the manufacturers or the OEM should not push the product to the people. People should buy the product because they will find some good value in terms of quality, or in terms of the for the money what they pay. If they find some value in your product, definitely they are going to buy the product from you. So that's what we call it as pull system. So lean manufacturing will always follow pull system. Okay, then after achieving all these things, we have to sustain the practices what we make. So we have to practice lean as a habit. So when we do practice lean as a habit, you will get achieve, you will sustain that, and you'll achieve some perfection. So perfection is the fifth principle what we saw in lean manufacturing. So you know that now principles of lean, we mean, by the principles of lean we mean value, value stream, flow, pull, and perfection. So these are the things what we discussed in the last class with good examples we discussed. Okay, I think in last class you also calculated the your valued time and non-valued time in terms of your engineering degree, correct? Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So you remember the example what we discussed in the last class?
Yes, sir.
You calculated the time what you spent for doing your engineering, right? It was around like 4,285 or 35 hours of value addition, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. With that note, now we will look into the other things. So we'll see what is this lean startup, right? We could see a lot of people, they are starting their companies, startups as new entrepreneurs. Everyone is now starting businesses. But what happens? Many of them fail, right? Many of them fail. We always hear only to the success stories, right? But we never know what is failure, right? So most of the companies, they are meeting or ending up, the startups are ending up with being waste. It's not waste, they have failed to achieve something. So we call it as waste, or they are losers. But it's not like that, because failures also teach you something. Okay, so now what is this lean startup? So seeing that many entrepreneurs are failing miserably in the market, there is an author by name Eric Rice. He gives the term. He gives the he coined the word called as lean startup. So how to make things faster with a better quality, and at the same time with more more user-friendly approaches to create a product and how to launch the product in the market. So he is coming out with something called as the concept called as the lean startup. So this lean startup is going to be with the set of principles, practices, and tools what he is proposing for a startup, right? So startups are companies which are always innovative in nature. So you could find a lot of innovative products coming up in the market only because of the entrepreneurs companies. The traditional or the conventional factories or the organizations, whatever you find in the market, are like they have been there in the market for a lot of years, and they fetch a good profit. Only the successful organizations or we observe only the successful organizations, but in terms of innovation they are outdated. So these startups are companies which are bringing innovation to the products or the services what they offer. Okay, I told you industries can be classified into two types. One is product based industries, another one is service based industries. Service based industries, for example, schools, hospitals, malls, theaters, resorts, restaurants. So wherever you go and you can experience something, you can feel something by heart or by mind, we call them as service oriented industries. There are some industries we call as product oriented industries, where you can feel the product physically with you. If you're able to feel the product physically, like mobile phones, like a car, like a bike, like a water bottle, like a mouse, like a laptop, these are physical products what you can feel personally. So these products are called as product based industries or product oriented industries and service oriented industries. Startups are everywhere. Startups can be both product oriented or service oriented. So now you know what is product oriented and what is service oriented. And we see many entrepreneurs are failing due to several reasons. We are not going deep into why their startups are failing, but we are going to tell you how to make it success, how to launch your product successfully in this market to achieve profit. Okay, that's what we are going to tell. But here I'm going to propose some set of principles, practice, and tools in this class as proposed by Eric Rice. So we have to see the definition of lean startup. So this you have to be for the project or for the activity what you are going to decide. You are going to check this definition, and your product should be something related to this, right? A human institution. What is a lean startup? It's a human institution designed to create new products and services. As I told you, it can be a product or it can be a service, but it should be basically depending upon the human. Okay, of course, a human institution designed to create products and services under conditions of extreme uncertainty. So you are always going to build a product thinking that it can fail at any time, or it is going to you're going to lose the market at any time. So if you're more conscious, so if you're prepared for any uncertainty in this activity of building a being an entrepreneur, or when you're going to launch a product, when you know that you're going to fail, and if you're designing a product or you're developing a product or service for failure, and expecting the uncertainties, then definitely you are going to be successful. Okay, so imagine a company which is started in January of this year 2020, and almost we are stepping into we are going to close, I mean we are going to end this month of July, and like almost like 6 months we are already, I mean, gone, and we are in the seventh month right now. Imagine a company which is started in January. They would have never expected that all their activities are going to get closed by Jan end or by February end. All of you can mute your mic, and when it is necessary, you can unmute yourself. If you want to raise any questions, you can unmute. Otherwise, you can mute yourself, please. Okay, so the lean startup is what? It's going to basically, it's built upon the human institution where you're going to design the product or service for extreme uncertainty. So as I was discussing, imagine a company which was started in January month, and they don't know that their company or the startup they started is going to be closed by March end. Only 3 months they are done, and they don't know what is going to happen for them. So they have taken a lot of loans to start up the money. They have raised money by crowdfunding. A lot of activities they have done to start the business, but unnecessarily due to this pandemic situation, everything is closed now. Almost all institutions are closed. All organizations are closed. Majority of the organizations are closed now. So we don't know what is going to happen when. So when you are prepared for everything and you're designed your product, and every step you take is a learning experience to design your product or service, then we call that as a lean startup. Okay, so now we will discuss about what is lean startup management and what are the 5 principles of lean startup management. The 5 principles of lean startup management are: first thing, we are telling that entrepreneurs are everywhere. Next, entrepreneurship is management. Practice validated learning, set up, build, measure, learn system, and use innovation accounting system. So if you observe, these are the 5 principles of lean startup management. Now let us discuss one by one. The first thing we are telling here is entrepreneurship is management. The first principle is what we are discussing is entrepreneurship is management. Okay, so we are asking now, I'm asking you now the question: in what way entrepreneurs are different from the regular conventional organizations involved in manufacturing or service oriented industries? The main thing is management. Everyone, if you're working under any organization, let it be TCS, Infosys, or it can be Mahindra or Tata Motors, anything, wherever you work, there is a management. When you say management, that is more like a bureaucracy, right? So someone is there to control you, or they are telling that, or if you're working under management, you'll know that management means they give you some orders and you have to adopt it. That is what we're doing. I'm telling you what to do, you do what I say. So that is the attitude what management people will have. So but entrepreneurs are something different from that, right? Because entrepreneurship means you give the freedom, or you tell them, you do what is right for the company or for the product to do. So that's why we should avoid management and the just do it attitude. So you should not command your employees, or the management should not take a control, asking the people just do it what I ask you to do. So it should not be there. So you should avoid the management or the bureaucracy way of thinking or the attitude. So but it's not that you don't need management, you need a management, but you need a different kind of management which will support uncertainty. In a typical conventional management, what happens is that they tell you what to do and you do what they say. So ultimately, if something goes wrong, they blame you or you blame them, and there's nothing fruitful happening, or both the sides are going to face the damage out of that. Okay, but in entrepreneurship, or in a lean startup, what happens is that there will be a management, and this management will also work with you when there is some uncertainty, or when there is some difficulty in launching the product, or if something is happening in the business, in the market, your management will there to support you. So that's why entrepreneurship is management, but management is not lean startup. Okay, you should have a management, but the management should be friendly. Basically, that is what we are telling. Okay, the next principle is called as validated learning. Okay, what is this validated learning? Let's discuss now. So, production of high quality products. So, always all companies want to produce high quality products, but how we know the product what we manufactured or what we are going to launch will be of high quality? There is no one can say, because if I ask a student how he wrote your exam, as soon as he completes the exam, he will say that, sir, it was fantastic, I gave it well, I mean, done and dusted. So something he will tell, right? So I have done very well the exam, but when the results come, when I evaluate the paper, I will find that he has not done as much, like husky, what he explained to me and what he wrote in the examination paper will be different. Okay, so we don't know exactly what your product is going to be, right? For a manufacturer, or when you are an entrepreneur, or when you are the designer, you believe that, or you have more confident on your product that it is going to be a successful product. But only when it reaches the customer, we will know whether the product is successful or not successful, whether the customers like your product or they don't like the product, like that. So but to understand that, we need to validate the product or the service what we have launched or what we are going to launch. So that has to be done in a scientific way. So we call that as scientifically validating each element of a startup vision, by running a series of experiments. Okay, so we are going to run some experimental tests, or some we are going to run some trials to achieve this. But now, how to achieve this, that is a very very important question. How to do this validated learning? Okay, so Eric Rice, he himself is proposed some a model called as build measure learn loop. So they call this as a loop, a closed loop, and he is asking us to close this loop as complete this loop as quick as possible. So the loop is called as build measure learn loop, where you build some product to launch, and you launch the product, and once it reaches the customer, you are going to measure whether the product is successful or not successful, and after that, or what is the impact it has created with the customer. You're going to test the product by measuring it. The scale of measurement can vary depending upon the product what do you sell in the market. Then you're going to learn from the mistakes, or you're going to learn what is wrong with the product and how you are going to rebuild the product, right? How you can rectify the mistakes what is there in the or where you made the mistake in the product. So all these things is possible in a lean startup. So when you have a product, you should aim at launching the product very quickly to the market, because only then you will know well what the mistakes what you have made, and how you can correct it, and you can relaunch the product within a short period of time, very quickly. So just like that, it's like that how you write your exams. You write your exams and you give the exams, and the exams is being evaluated by a faculty for a particular course. And you find that if you fail that exam, you will take the backlog exam as quick as possible to complete the degree. So the same process applies to a lean startup management also. So what Eric Rice is telling is that, listen into these words, or read these words what is in your slide. It is very clear, right? But read it twice or thrice. He says we must learn what customers really want. Okay, we should know what my customer really wants, but not what they say they want. Sometimes you say I want this and that. You should listen to that, but you should not completely believe or completely accept what he wants from the product. And you should not tell, okay, you need this product, you what we think they should want. It's not like that. You should not dictate, you should go only with this product. And he should not tell that I need only these things in my product. But actually we must discover whether we are on a path that will lead to a growing a sustainable business, or we should build a product which will satisfy the requirements of the customer and make him happy, and sometimes more than that, for the promised value what for the value what you promised in the product. Okay, so imagine you go to a restaurant. I'll give you an example for this. You go to a restaurant, and sometimes it happens, let's say the restaurant is going to close at 9 p.m. and you're going to the restaurant at 8:30. So sometimes this you would have experience, or imagine you're a mess where you're dining during your college day, during your working days before this pandemic. Okay, so what they say, you go and tell them I need something to eat, some food. You're ordering something to eat, and he says no, we don't have that, but only we have this. Okay, but sometimes he accepts that, sometimes he don't accept that. So we need to ask the customer what he wants, but we should not take all the things what he is expecting from your product. Okay, he may ask for a mobile phone which can be used for browsing, which can be used for booking tickets, where he can do SolidWorks designing, and he can ask for a thing which where he can work for with some Android applications can be running on that mobile, and iOS application same time running on that mobile, or he can even ask for some kind of 3D animations you should be able to do with the mobile. He can ask for anything, but we should know that no, we are going to give him and we should not tell that, see, we don't have that, we have only the Android version, and we have only this much camera, and we have only this much GB of RAM in this mobile, you take it. Even that should not be there. And you should not accept that, because running a 3D designing package in I'm just giving an example. My example may sound odd. Understand the meaning what I'm trying to convey to you. I'm trying to tell you that the customers will ask for X, Y, Z, but you can give them. You should not give them X and Z. You should also try to give as much as possible to the customer, but at the same time you should not take all the customer requirement, because processing all the customer requirements in a single product will go meaningless. So that is not possible. So you should promise something, he will ask for something, you can promise for something, and ultimately the output should be such that the product will be in the market for a very long time, so that you can make a lot of profit out of the market. As long as understand one thing, as long as the product is there withstanding in the market, the profit you are going to make in the market, it will be high. Okay, if your just I will give you another example. If a movie is released in a theater, okay, if a movie is released in a theater, and if it satisfies the customers, or the audience, the ultimately the movie will be there in the market or in the theaters for a long time, and the producer of that movie will earn more money out of that movie. Otherwise, if he is taking the movie for a budget of 400 crores, and the movie is running in the theaters only for 4 days, what will happen? He is going to lose the market. Imagine a movie like Bahubali released for some 400 plus crores of money invested, and the movie runs only for 4 days in the theater. Imagine what will happen to the producer. Gone, right? He has to shut down everything, all his business he has to shut down, and he has to go back, right? He can't take another movie again. So that's what. So you have to give the minimum. We call that product. We call such product as minimum viable product, which we will be discussing in the next module. Okay. Now let's go to the third principle of lean startup management. This we call it as innovation accounting. What is this innovation accounting? Okay, as I told you, we are going to run series of experiments, and we are going to be coming out with some innovation accounting. Like, we are going to test the product, what is going to happen, how it is going to happen, like what are the tests we have to conduct. So all these things we are going to take account, we are going to take into accounts all these things. Like, we are going to be accountable for everything, for the number of tests we run, whether the product is successful or not, like how to learn, how much innovation you are going to bring in. So that we call as innovation accounting. So how this innovation accounting is done? It is done in 3 steps. First, you are going to set a vision as a foundation. You are going to set the vision for your company. What is this vision? We tell that, okay, by 2024, if I start a startup at 2020, within this 4 years, or 20 or 5 years, 2024 or 25, my company will be reaching this much height. So that we call as vision statement. If you have done a course on total quality management, you will, or any quality related courses, you will understand the meaning of the vision or mission, right? So that's the question always in this quality management subjects. So vision is what you want to become, right? So yes, this always remains unchanged. People normally, they don't change their vision continuously. Only after achieving the vision they can change it. Unless they achieve, it will be always constant. Okay, what is the strategy I am going to adopt to achieve this mission is called as will be always be frequently we have to check whether we are on the right path, whether we are on the right strategy, we are adopting the right strategy to go from the to achieve the product, or to deviate from whether we are going the right path in achieving the strategy for towards the mission, or whether we are deviating from that. So we will be able to understand based upon the strategy whether to pivot or preserve. We will discuss what is pivot and preserve in the upcoming slides, or in the next module probably. Next, we are going to see frequently, how much frequently we are running the loop. The loop, or what I told you, is called the closed loop, build, measure, learn cycle. How much times you will be able to run this, how much frequently you will be able to evaluate yourself. Basically, what I'm telling is how much time, number of times you will be able to evaluate yourself. That we call it as frequency or frequently. That is for the particular product, or it can be also for a service. This is how we are going to do the innovation in accounting. So you're going to have a mission. To achieve that mission, you have the strategy, and for that particular strategy, the strategy will be depending upon the product or the service what I'm going to give. Again, for the product or the service what I'm going to give, I'm running number of tests. The number of tests here, I mean, I'm going to build the product, I'm going to measure the product after launching it to the customer, and after launching it to the customer, I'm going to learn what mistakes I have made, and I'm trying to correct myself. So this is called as build, measure, cycle, and this is also applied in innovation accounting. Okay, the fourth principle, that is what, as I told you, the fourth principle is innovation accounting. Like that is going to be on preserve or pivot. As I told you, I'll be discussing. See, some products, they do a lot of research, they do user research, and they end up making a complex plan, complex design, or otherwise complex design, and they launch the product in a big way. They'll bring Shah Rukh Khan to promote the product, and or there will be someone, XYZ branding, like Deepika Padukone or Virat Kohli or Sachin Tendulkar, Dhoni. They bring a lot of people to launch the product, and they advertise so much. But what happens? But what happens? The design of the product itself is bad, and they never run this loop called as a build, measure, learn cycle. So if they don't run this build, measure, learn cycle, what happens? They are going to fail miserably. So what is advantages of running this, or conducting this innovation accounting activity is, you are going to preserve or pivot. What is going to preserve, in sense, if you're going in the right path and you feel that, okay, my product is making a good profit in the market, I will tell, okay, I'll follow the same strategy in the market to achieve my vision. So then I'm not going to take any direction. Like, that means that my product is going in the right direction, so that I'll preserve all the steps what I've taken so far. I'll continue to practice the steps whatever I've taken so far. But if you find, when you run this build, measure, learn cycle, and when you measure, you find, okay, you're making some mistakes, that means that your product is moving away from the strategy, or it's moving away from the vision, or so what you have to do is, you have to fix the path, or you should turn your path to right direction. Pivot means you're going in the right direction. You should turn your steering to the right direction, so that your product idea, or your product will be a successful product in the market. So this innovation accounting will help you to preserve or pivot the strategy what you are adopting for a product. So understand these words: preserve and pivot. Pivot means you're going in a wrong direction. Preserve means you're going in a right direction to achieve the strategy of your business. Therefore, you can achieve the vision of your business correctly. Okay. So why then? There's a question whether these principles are applicable only to startups. No. Okay, it can be, normally what they believe, that it's only for small scale, or it can be applicable to any, only to enterprises. No, it's not like that. It is for everyone. You can make profit or non-profit. It can be a government organization, or a commercial or a private organization. But when we say lean startup, it's going to have an ecosystem. The lean startup ecosystem will try to create new product or services under extreme uncertainty conditions. It can be applicable to any type of industry, any type of services. There is no size variation. You can be a big organization, a small organization, a profit making, a non-profit making, government, quasi-government, or completely a private sector. It can be applied to any organization. But the thing is that they should develop a new design or a service under, and they're ready to face any uncertainty conditions they are going to face in the market, due to change in the market, or due to any calamities or pandemics like this what we are experiencing now. Okay, the fifth and the last principle is called as entrepreneurs are everywhere. What is entrepreneurs? Okay, entrepreneurs are everywhere, but we don't need entrepreneurs. What Eric Rice is telling, that we need intrapreneurs. Intrapreneurs, who is that intrapreneurs, right? The word is new to some of us, right? So entrepreneurs are trying to build a startup inside the established organizations. Always see, entrepreneurs are, means like, entrepreneurs are trying to build there is a company running, but there will be one entrepreneur inside the company. See, set of people are there, and a particular people will think, what will happen, okay, using this facility in my company, if I am able to launch a new product like this, and this product is the most will be having a very good welcome from the customers, and this product will be loved by the customers, then I'll be trying to launch this product in the market. So within an organization there should be entrepreneurs, and these entrepreneurs we call them as intrapreneurs. Okay, within the organization, if someone is able to think innovative, so that's why we told management, entrepreneurship is management. Management is there, there's a management, but inside the management, the employee should be, each and every employee in your organization should be able to come out with a new product or new launch idea, so that only we call this entrepreneurs inside the organization as intrapreneurs. Okay, so the entrepreneurs inside the organization who can give innovative ideas to launch new products and thereby making a good profit for the company, we call them as intrapreneurs. Okay, so these are the 5 principles of lean startup management. To sum up, what I to sum up, we say it's an incremental lean startup management activity is incremental and iterative in nature. It's going to be here the product development activity or the product launch activity is going to be very short, so it is more adaptive than predictive. Okay, it's going to be more adaptive than predictive, so it's not a myth or it's not something like that. So it's going to be readily adaptable, so you can adapt this technique, and it is on paper, or it is on, or the plan is ready. When the plan is ready, there's nothing to predict, you can run the business easily. Okay, so what happens, it makes you to learn whether and build the product very fast, and you can bring the product very fast to the market. You can launch the product is very fast in the market without any confusion, because you know what the customer wants. You're going to build a minimum viable product, you're going to launch the product in the market, and you will know what the what the customer experiences from the product. And if you make any mistake, you can change the product, and you can correct the mistake what is there in the product or the service, and you can launch the product again. So you can bring the product very fast to the market if you adopt this learn, build, and measure cycle. So what is the mistake? Okay, it is making you to rework on the product. Of course, if something wrong happens in the product, you're going to correct the product, so you're going to rework on the product, which may sometimes be successful and most of the time is going to be unsuccessful. Okay. And you require to conduct this experiment, that is learn, build, measure. You're going to take this test continuously, iteratively. You're going to take with the clients and the users. So sometimes they feel, why this fellow is always coming to me and asking me whether I'm happy with the product or not. Why this guy is always asking me to fill a survey form. Why this fellow is coming and asking me all these questions. So it will create a doubt among the customers about your product or the service what you offer. Okay, so if someone is asking whether my say this what happens, like your mother or someone asks you whether the food I prepared is, do you like it or not. When they ask this question, you don't, okay, whether the food is good or bad, you thought of thinking, right? So that's what. So and how it is useful. Okay, if you have doubt on your business, it helps you to clarify, and you can avoid the risk of making a bad product in the market. Okay, so that's why you can take this learn, build, measure cycle during the prototype stage of your product before you launch the actual product in the market. So that's why lean startup management is going to help you in this being an entrepreneur. This lean startup management will help you a lot. Okay, so not only for the entrepreneurs, even if you have a very good designer and of any product, you can use this lean startup concepts in building or developing a new product for your company when you design, or when you work for someone, or when you are an entrepreneur. So this is the 5 principles of lean manufacturing. You can I have given you 2 links here. The second link will discuss actually what we saw in today's class, the 5 principles of lean startup management. Okay, so with this, I'm closing the class for today, and I have some few instructions for you. Okay, so based upon our discussion, if you have any doubts, you can ask me. I'll be happy to answer your questions now. Is there any questions you have? So are you able to understand the 5 principles of lean?
Hello, sir. Can you explain this entrepreneur?
Can you be louder? I'm not able to hear your voice, please.
Can you explain entrepreneur?
Yeah, intrapreneurs is like say you are running a company. Okay, so you're running once again. Okay, you are running a company with some 20 employees, and you think that if you are a typical management, I told you the first example, right? If you are a management and you say that you expect your employees to work for you, and they will work only for the words what you are saying, they will obey you strictly, they don't think out of the box. But if you have some people who can think out of the box, and if they could come out with some good ideas to you, or when you encourage them to come with good ideas, what happens? there will be innovation in the product what you are making, and sometimes for the existing product, or it can be helpful for building a new product, completely new, so that what happens, you will be an this creates some this you create a entrepreneur inside your company. When you're able to create an entrepreneur inside your company, then we call that people as intrapreneurs. Okay, I will give you one example to understand more easily. You know the founder of Google? Who is the founder of Google?
Larry Page. Larry Page.
Okay, so now who is the CEO of Google?
Sundar. Sundar. Uh, Sundar
Yeah, yeah.
Pichai. Sundar
Why
Pichai.
why is made the CEO of Google?
Uh, sir, that I don't know.
You should know that, because
He's
he
innovative.
was the one, huh?
He's
Please.
in, he have many innovative ideas.
He bought some many innovative ideas. He was the one who changed a lot of things. He bought in new things, right, into Google. So like Google were able to acquire a lot of new things, and that's the success. So he was a good entrepreneur inside the Google. So he is the best example for entrepreneur. If you're able to give new ideas in the company where you're working, and if your management is well enough to accept your ideas and motivate you, then definitely everyone can be an entrepreneur. Okay, inside our organization, if you're entrepreneur, we call them as entrepreneur. Okay, I think the Google pitch, Sundar Pichai's example will help you to understand what is entrepreneur. Okay.
Same with Satya Nadella also. He is also a CEO of Microsoft now.
Of course, sir. Of
He is
course.
also an entrepreneur. He
It's
can be
also,
called entrepreneur.
you can take any CEO for that matter, because management always motivates and loves only the entrepreneurs, because they're going to bring, because they have bought or they're going to bring more profit to the company. Okay, your boss will love you only when you bring some new ideas, or it's not always that you obey him. Only when you make profit to the company in a new innovative way, you will be noted. So only when you get noted, you will get appointed as big CEOs of big companies, big MNCs. Okay, I want every one of you to be an entrepreneur. At least, if not, you can be an entrepreneur in your organizations where you are going to join shortly or by next year. Okay. Okay, so I want you to switch on your videos if possible. I have something to discuss. So I'm stopping to share the document, and I could see, and could you now look at me? Am I visible to you all? Like I'm
Yes, sir.
okay. Okay. So listen. So I came across few cases where my students are wanted to do the old project whatever is submitted by your seniors in the last semester. Okay. Don't think that you can do like that, because we have a very good repository where we have all your projects recorded, especially this projects whatever is submitted to TARP, or whether you have submitted to this lean startup management by your seniors who did this course have submitted that, and our institute is maintaining a repository for this, because these documents we are submitting it to all accreditation activities, whether it's for NAC or for NBA, for ABBT, whatever you call for all these accreditations we are submitting this document, right? That's why I asked you to fill this Google form. When you fill this Google form, automatically the Excel sheet is created, and this Excel sheet I will try to share with the course coordinator, which is again shared to the dean. The dean shares with the accreditation team. So we have a pakka record of all these documents. So try to come out with some ideas which is new. Okay, so don't copy whatever your seniors had done. If you want to do that, you don't need to do this course, because this course is only for people who love to develop, or who want to be an entrepreneur, or who just for the completion of the sake of completing this course, don't do it. If you have some love and passion to do this, do it. Okay. If I found the ideas repeating, simply I can reduce the marks. Of course, this is for a 1 credit or 2 credit paper, but I can still make you fail in this examination. If you fail, I'm not threatening you. I'm just requesting you, telling that all these old ideas, please stop thinking about the old ideas. Submit only the new ideas. Also, please cooperate or have a group meeting and try to come out with the business title by the next class. Now you should know what is lean startup management and what you are going to do. Okay, so please be careful about the topic what you are going to select. Am I clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so be cautious. Don't repeat whatever you did for your TARP, I mean TARP, or there's this lean startup management. Okay, don't mix both. Come out with an idea. It can be any simple idea. I don't want you to build launch rockets out of these courses. I don't want everyone cannot be Elon Musk, but at least you can come out with small ideas, starting a restaurant, anything. It can be a very simple idea, but be innovative. I need some innovation in your product. And few batches, and I'm very much happy, few batches have contacted me over phone or through WhatsApp, asking me to help them to patent their idea. I am happy to help you. I will be very much happy to help you to patent your ideas. Of course, patenting is not a part of this course, but still, I can help you in all possible ways to patent your ideas. If you want, I can even arrange a meeting with the Patent Office of India, IPR cell of both our university and and outside in Chennai. I have few contacts in IPR office through whom we can help get fund. Even we can get funding to our institute is funding for you to patent your ideas. Imagine you completing a BTech degree with a patent. How well it is, right? And of course, most of this time, I'm not telling that you're free. Of course, you're attending 5 to 6, 7 classes a day, but I don't feel like you'll be a bit relaxed compared to the campus environment. I believe that. Okay, so if you want to really be innovative, think about some topic related which you can patent, and even our institute is funding for your patent applications. It's welcoming. I mean, like last year alone, we filed around 3 patents with my students. Okay, so like this, you also can try to patent your ideas. You can discuss with me or with your faculty whom you feel will be more suitable to work with, right? I can help you in all these things, right? This activity of patenting. Okay, so please try to be innovative. Rather wasting this opportunity of being at home, try to make it useful. Patenting, only the idea, thinking of an idea is difficult, but to patent it is very easy. Okay, just few justifications and they write almost like 2 3 pages. You have to write about your work. That's it. Some form, a 2 3 page form is there where you have to fill the form. If you're filling that form, your patent is ready. Filing patent is easy. Only thing is that you have to document that. You have to come out with a very innovative idea. There's a website called as Google Patents. You can search in Google Patents about the ideas what is existing. Even in IPR, there is IPR web pages. You can Indian patent rights, right? So you can go to that IPR websites and you can search what are the previously patented work. So think about doing something innovative out of this course rather being copying the things what others have done already. Okay, this is just, don't take this as an advice. Take my discussion in a friendly manner. Okay, I'm not advising you. I'm trying to help you out. Okay, and at the end of the day, at least it's up to you. So again, one thing is you collaborate with your team, discuss with your team members. You know who are your team members, so please discuss with them. Elect a leader among yourself, coordinate with your leader, and try to submit the assignments on time. Okay, am I clear to you?
Yes, sir.
Please coordinate with your team, discuss with your team. You have to prepare your minutes of meeting. Don't miss. For every week you have to prepare your minutes of meeting. I think I have uploaded the minutes of meeting template also, right? I have uploaded the minutes of meeting template. Go download that from your Vita web page. Go download that, start filling it. At the end, you don't fill, it will take more time. You have to prepare for all the weeks. That is for the review. For the review, I need your in the rubrics I have mentioned clearly what are the things you have to submit. You have to submit a 8-minute video, your business plan as a PDF document, and also your minutes of all minutes of meeting combined together as a single PDF document. So please be careful, and that is the evaluation pattern what is advised by the management or by our university. So please go with that. Okay, so I think my instructions are very clear to you. Okay. So we have 70 students in this class, and for this class I have only 71. I'm waiting online. If you have any questions, you can ask to me. Meanwhile, I'll be posting a poll. You just fill it so that I can take it for attendance. If you have any question now, you can ask. It can be of anything related to your project or related to your patenting idea, or it can be on team formation, anything.
So is the minutes of meeting format uploaded in the course page or is it on Teams?
On BTalk.
Okay, sir.
Okay, I have posted the form in the group. You can fill the answers so that I can take up the thing. Okay, so have you started discussing with your team meanwhile?
Sir,
Yeah.
so when is the last day to submit the Google forms? Like to fill the Google forms, when's the last date?
You can fill it by next Thursday.
Okay, sir.
By 30th, you can close it. Okay, if you're filled the form, you can leave the meeting.